Right, welcome back. So the African National Congress, that's the ANC, has received a letter from a woman over the weekend, this past weekend, alleging that she has been raped by the party's spokesperson, Zizi Kodwa. The ANC had advised the woman to report the allegation of rape to the police, as they do not have the mandate to investigate or prosecute. Kodwa released a statement where he vehemently denied the rape allegation and said that it is a dirty trick campaign against him. Now, the ANC Women's League, however, stated publicly that they are supporting the complainant and have called for Kodwa to be suspended. Joining us now, we've got Precious Banda. She's from the ANC Women's League Young Women's Desk to talk about this matter. Thanks for coming in. Good to have you here on Morning Live.
Morning to you and to the viewers.
So, you are asking for Zizi Kodwa's suspension. Is that the ANC Women's League, your standpoint?
Yes, we are asking for Comrade Zizi to step aside and for the ANC to suspend him while we bring the movement and himself pursue this matter and seek clarity and, the matter gets into conclusion. We have called on the young woman to open a case with the police and to take a legal route so that justice is served. But we are supporting the woman and saying we believe her, as we have been doing with all other victims of rape and abuse in the hands of men.
If we may ask, have you had a meeting with the lady that is accusing Zizi Kodwa? Have you had a meeting with her?
No, we've not yet had a meeting. We are yet to have a meeting. We are making those arrangements and we'll be meeting her very soon, and our message will be the same kind of message as we have stated publicly, to say we encourage her to go and open a case and pursue the matter legally, and along the way we offer our support and our solidarity, and we're going to be with her throughout.
Okay. We, as of this morning, we are still reporting that there has been no charge laid against Zizi Kodwa at all with the police. Do you still feel that he should be suspended, even though, or to just step aside, even though there's no official charge being laid against him at the police?
Look, we are for victims standing up and speaking. We are for women standing up to speak. So we encourage the young woman to speak, and we encourage her and applaud her for taking a stance to speak out. And we are saying such a person like Comrade Zizi cannot speak for the ANC today. He cannot be a spokesperson of a non-sexist organization at a time when this cloud is hanging over him. He needs to clear his name, and the victim needs to pursue the matter legally.
Okay, so we'll wait to see what happens there and whether or not the victim does actually go forward and lay that charge against him. But as it stands now, as I say, this hasn't been done. Pule Mabe was also accused of sexual assault. You also came forward as the Women's League and said that he needs to be suspended and he needs to step aside from his position. He, of course, subsequently has been cleared by the ANC of any wrongdoing. This must be quite a blow to the party to have both spokespeople accused of rape.
In our first August march, if you remember, we marched to the ANC at Lutuli House. And the reason why we took a decision to march to Lutuli House was to say we want our party as a leader of society to take a very clear position and stance against gender-based violence and women abuse. Part of the things that we demanded there was to say the ANC needs to be very firm and decisive on its members and leaders who are found wanting in violating women. We are still saying the ANC must come out clearly and state what it's going to do to these men in the organization that continue to be accused violating women. We cannot allow such people to be part of the rank and file of the ANC. So we need a clear position from the ANC on how they process those matters, because part of the things that we demanded from them is that they issue a list, they issue a database of members that have been accused of sexual harassment, women abuse, and any form of gender-based violence against women.
Now, if we have a look at the political atmosphere right now, obviously we are a couple of months away from the elections. We've got Zizi Kodwa coming out saying that this is just a smear campaign. And of course, Pulemabe, I imagine, saying very much so the same thing. What if this is a smear campaign?
Women must be believed. Women must be supported. And when women speak out, we have to take their side without casting doubt. If those comrades believe there's a smear campaign against him, Comrade Zizi, he will have to prove it himself that there's a smear campaign. But for us, currently, we take the position of standing with the women. Whether it's election or not, women must never be violated. There's no correct time for a woman to speak out, and we cannot allow women to keep quiet because it's election time. The ANC represents women. The ANC is a party for women. The ANC's majority membership is women. The ANC is a liberation movement that has won a lot of victories for women. So we cannot allow the ANC to not speak out and to not be firm because it's election time. The ANC must live up to its mandate of protecting all citizens and of ensuring that women are emancipated, empowered, and that there is a non-sexist organization in terms of its objectives.
Yeah. I'm going to ask you a question which I think is quite relevant at a time like this, because the narrative that I'm hearing you speaking through now is saying that women should be put first. It must be proved whether or not the rape did or did not occur. You always stand by and support the victims of rape. I'm going to reverse a little bit a couple of years. When you, as a league, were very vocal against Kwezi, when she came out and said that Jacob Zuma had raped her, our former president. But you guys were very vocal against her outside the court. You were really not supporting her at all. Why the change? What happened?
Firstly, it's not true that the Women's League was very vocal against Kwezi. You need to do your research. You actually find statements of the Women's League speaking in favor of Kwezi. It was members and certain leaders in the ANC Women's League that went to support the then deputy president of the ANC. And when that happened, it's incorrect for you to say at all the Women's League as a league of women was totally against Kwezi. The Women's League had a position of saying they are by the women. You can Google, the articles are there even today. But what we have been saying is that it's also very unfair of the media to want to lock us into moments that today, 10 years later, we cannot speak for women, we cannot speak on issues of women. The ANC Women's League is not allowed to have views because there is a case that happened 10 years ago. You are locking us into moments, and it's very unfair of the media. And it has been, by the way, it's not only you alone. It's been every other media house asking the very same question, which is very unfair.
And the reason I think it may be that way, it's because you may deny that you were very vocal at the time in support of Jacob Zuma. You were. We saw you standing outside with placards. As a Women's League, I'm not particularly pointing a finger at you, with placards supporting the then Deputy President. And the questions were asked, why? Why is a Women's League taking the side of a man as opposed to a woman who is there standing trial saying that she has been raped? It's a very different dialogue, and I'm not accusing you of anything. I'm just saying it's a different narrative to where you've come from. So I was just wondering how you determined the support of a woman.
It's the same thing I also spoke of, locking the ANC Women's League into moments, that what happened then must remain what it is.
So
and
you're saying
it is
you're
not
a different league now?
To where you it's were not then, a different league. It's the same ANC Women's League. It's the same ANC Women's League that stands up and speaks for women. It is the same ANC Women's League whose membership then, some of its membership stood with a man, as you put it. But this Women's League now is speaking for women. It's the same Women's League then that had a position that you choose to ignore as the media, because that position of the ANC Women's League as an organization standing with the victim is still there. And I referred you to go into the archives to get it, because you get it into the public archives. So the Women's League had a position then. It's not something we're denying. That position was there. But members, women were there supporting the men. And we are saying now, women are saying, let's stand up together and stand for a victim. It's regressive for you to want to take us back at a time when we are saying, that's what you're doing.
But we're asking a question.
That's what you're doing, because we are saying, let's stand up for women now.
Yeah.
We are saying, let's stand for women. Let's believe women no matter what.
Okay.
Let's take a stance for women. And you want to say, no, let's go back.
No, I think what we were asking you then was to stand up for women. And we are proud of you for standing up for women now, but we were asking you then to also stand up for women. Not only the media, let's put a tweet up as well, because it seems that people, normal people, not just the media, because I know you like to blame the media, but there are people. Let's have a look at some of the responses from our question of the day this morning. And here's one from a Zania native saying, does the ANC Women's League still exist? Their problem has always been selective activism. I.e., I haven't read this tweet. This is a tweet that's just come through. I.e., when Jay-Z was accused of rape, they vilified Kwezi. Still today, we don't know their position on Kwezi. So this is not just from the media. This is from a normal South African asking the same question.
Because narratives have been pushed by the media.
What is your position on Kwezi, if I may ask? I mean, I'm going to go all the way back there, because maybe this is your opportunity to clarify.
No,
it.
I refuse to answer that, because you are taking away the attention and the focus from the current case that we must all stand up and speak for the victim. You want us to abandon the current case now and for us to begin to speak about, because I refuse to answer that.
Okay.
Yeah.
We just on a clarity, there's no way I'm taking attention away.
I feel like you are taking, you want us to take away the attention, and that's locking into moments that I consistently talk about. That can we speak about the case now? Can we speak about standing up for women now today? Can we speak about believing women? Can we speak about encouraging victims to speak out and to break the silence? And when we are passing that message, instead of assisting us to get the message out there, you want us to take, now we must begin to, you are starting a new debate. We must start afresh to say, what did you believe on Kwezi, and so on, when we are here to speak about a particular message that we must commit to our people.
Do you not believe that something like this will hang over the ANC Women's League for years and years to come? Instead of clearing it up, moving on and saying, listen, perhaps our stance was wrong there, but we are moving forward. We're getting over that. And I think maybe that's what the problem is for many people saying that there are unanswered questions. It seems that if the political narrative suits the ANC Women's League, they will support the victim. But if it doesn't, they'll be against the victim. Perhaps that's what's going on here.
What was the political narrative when we took a stance against Dudu Manana? What was the political narrative when we took a stance against Pulemavi? What was the political narrative when we took a stance against Wisani? What was the political narrative when we took a stance against the councillor in Tshwane that raped and is serving jail sentence? We have been doing that. We have been standing with victims. We have been going to courts with victims. We have been supporting families that have lost daughters to femicide. So what has been politics with that? So it can't be true that it's about politics, and we can't reduce our pain and our lived experiences to just political narratives. It can't be correct.
All right. Well, I'm glad you're here and you're clarifying all of this. But let's just end off the interview with finding out your next step. What are you going to be doing as the Women's League in this particular case?
Firstly, our wish is to meet with the victim. We are going to meet with the victim. We have said victims remain central to our approach, because we want victims to tell us the kind of support and how they want to be supported, because we understand how painful it is to go through such an experience of rape and violence from a man. So we'll meet the victim. We are going to advise her that we think she must take the route that the ANC has advised her, which is to go and open a case, and to assure her that we are going to be by her side. Ultimately, we will respect the decision that she takes. We'll still support the decision that she takes after our advices. All
right, we leave it there. Precious, thanks for coming in and talking to us. Precious Banda is from the ANC Women's League. She's from the Young Women's Desk, talking to us about these allegations of rape that have been laid against ANC spokesperson and head of communications, Zizi Kodwa. They are asking for his suspension. Just a minute past 7 o'clock. Let's get your news.